Make people on benefits work in care homes. Oh shit, it all pointless looking. Let's have a listen.
Should people on benefits be made to work in care homes? 020 7862 2222 is the number. In response to the government announcing this week that it would end the recruitment of care workers from overseas, the Reform Deputy Leader Richard Tice suggested that Brits who are out of work should step in to look after the elderly or risk losing their benefits. This is him with LBC's Tom Swarbrick.
We might need to have to say to people, look, actually, if you're on benefits, then maybe actually we need to train you in things like social care and get you into a really important job.
If they don't want to do it, what are you going to do?
Then frankly, end of benefits. You can't make a lifestyle decision to sit on your backside at home watching telly whilst other people are going to work to pay your benefits. We have to have that discussion and say if you can work, you should work. Social care work in the community is a vital part of our communities, and people have to understand that.
So you leave a people out of benefits lifestyle by saying you now have to work in a care home?
No. I'd make Richard Tice work in a care home because I would. I'd put him in a care home for a week and see how he got on. I know we're going to hear him in a minute. What experience has he got? I find this whole thing offensive. Working in a care home is a highly skilled job. Looking after disorientated elderly people.
Well, why would you ask
requires loads of skills.
Yeah.
The idea that just anyone can do it. It's low skill, low wage.
Before you come
Why are people not queuing up to work in care homes? Because you get paid more in a supermarket or on benefits. That's the problem.
I was just watching this, you people, and when Mrs. Tice was speaking then, I had it in my mind, don't say one single word. Not one single word, because sometimes I feel like if I don't say something, I'm like, almost like I put on the front, if that makes any sense. Now with Mrs. Tice, I could, said I could criticise Mrs. Tice, and that's the point I'm making. It would have been a front. It would have been some of my subconscious feeling I would have to, like people on bed, blah blah blah. So I didn't mind to keep my mouth shut, and that is in Mr. Tice's position. Just like everyone else's position, that's his job. Do you understand? So I didn't mind to keep my mouth shut, not just just to quietly watch it and just turn it off as stupid as that sounds to people, just not to say one word. And now because they're actually, say make Mrs. Tice work in the workplace, I almost feel the need to. Almost like I'm in agreement with what they're saying, and quite the opposite. I would support Mrs. Tice. That's his position, that's his job, that's how he keeps the ropers and puts food on his table. And now they're criticising Mrs. Tice. He sounds fucking stupid, this. He sounds really daft. Because that is his position, just like everybody else's. So I've said that for that reason, as stupid as that sounds. Because not just saying anything, and I'm like I'm in agreement with these people. When I'm not in agreement, I'm on both sides here. I'm on both. This is a different type of context of watching a video like this. So in this situation, I see from Mr. Tyson, not that Mr. Tyson is right and they're wrong, but they're both equal the same. Now you think about opinion and things like that, and people that type of benefit, and the thing I spoke about, God knows how many times, and it's not as straightforward. That's my opinion. That's the right way to think. It's not as straightforward that people who think people want benefits, it's easier. So you got that one side. But then you got fucking Mr. Tyson and other politicians. That is their job, that is their position, as equal to those people who are criticising him. He has every right in the same type of situation. I know that sounds a bit narcissistic, you people, but it's just subconscious in the situation.
Let's pay people a decent wage, and then we get people with real experience working in care.
Let me see what Richard has to say. Richard, You're first in line
Yeah.
to work in a care home, according to Phil Jones.
Phil, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
And yes, do you know what, Phil? I'm going to take you up on that.
it.
But obviously, I would need some training first because, as you said, it's an important skill. It's a vital part of all our communities. And I was in a care home in my constituency of Boston and Skegness just recently. And what I was actually hearing was very different to what we hear on the national stage. They didn't mention the recruitment crisis. What they mentioned was the daft procedures and processes where they're not allowed to do certain things. They have to get a GP in from the local surgery, or they have to get an ambulance and take someone to the hospital when they could do the procedure in their home. Those are the things that was actually delaying and damaging patient care. But look, if there's a staffing crisis in certain parts of the country, and I accept that there may be, well, actually, then it's a great part of our community. It's a very important job, as Phil's just indicated. And actually, there are people on benefits who, for them, unfortunately, work doesn't pay because of the nature of our daft tax system. So, yeah, let's say to people, here's a good opportunity. Let's train you up. Let's get you into that workplace as part of our healthcare system. And what we've also got to do is we've got to get rid of this sort of slightly snobbish sneering or smearing away, saying that social care work is less good than other healthcare work. Actually, it's all part of healthcare.
Okay, let's get Carol. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Richard's absolutely right. I mean, I think anyone
Yeah,
on
I
benefits
agree.
who has been on benefits a long time and are getting offered jobs and turning them
They want
down
a job.
should have their benefits taken away. Now, in terms of...
Hang on.
Let me finish.
Carol, I was just going to say, what if Richard had said,
I don't think it's take the people, benefits away. Open those jobs for people that need the job. Open those jobs that are trying to get a job. Open those jobs for people that want to get benefits. Not a case of... It's not a case of, like, you've got to work in this care room, because if you don't, we're going to take your benefits away. There are people on benefits who are caught in that cycle who do want a job, but there are no jobs out there. But they do want to. They don't want to be on benefits. They're in an economic point, a motivational point, wanting to do something at a point, to want a job. So it's those people that should be opened up to care homes, not presented to people where if you don't go to care home, we'll have your benefits taken away. Open up to those people who want to get benefits. And that's what should be the situation.
if you're on benefits, either we take your benefits away or you're going to have to write a column for the Daily Express? You'd go mad. You'd say, that suggests that anyone can do my job.
Hang on a sec. Well, anyone can.
Brilliant,
do that job.
Jeremy.
That's anyone.
It's like, how many jobs would there be open to the care home market, where you would actually say to people, apply for this job, I'll take your benefits away? Do you understand? The percentage of jobs it'll be, the percentage of people on benefits who want a job, there's no way you would have to give it to those people who don't want to work, and if they don't go to care home, they'll take the benefits away. So in this type of situation, that makes no sense. In the context, if you don't go to care home, we'll take your benefits away. Do you understand?
Can do my job. Anyone can do your job. They just have to be trained.
No.
Yes, they have. They've got to be trained up. They have to have experience and trained up to do. But the bottom line is, in social care, I might not want an angry, disgruntled person who's been shoved into a care home to look after my mother or my granny. However, there are other jobs in care homes. There are cleaning jobs. There is kitchen work. There is heavy lifting. There is gardening. All of those jobs.
You're telling me you need to train people to go into care homes. You're telling me there's no people out there who have those skill sets already, and the vast people who don't have work. And it's not something that I'd have to, say. You understand?
Can be done. Why should we all be working to pay for the benefits of people who sit at
Well, there we are, Phil. That's it. That's it. In a nutshell. And a lot of people say yes.
I mean, we don't pay people enough. It's you can earn more in a supermarket than you can working in a care home.
That's
and it's
not
not
the
the
debate.
benefits
That's
are so
not the debate.
generous.
The debate is not
Let
about...
Richard come in. Let Richard come.
Run your business better with simple, fast checkout for card and cash sales and start taking payments straight away. Just
But that's exactly the point, Phil. If we constantly rely on cheap, low-skilled immigration from overseas, you'll never get the wages.
Jesus Christ, what type of situation? Well, let me just try and quickly sum up the situation. Those people, right, who have no motivation to go to work because there's no incentive, because going to work, they would lose money. They wouldn't, they'd be worse off going to work, basically. So certain people on certain benefits, who've been on benefits for a long time, there's no incentive for them to get off benefit because they'd be worse off. But because of people losing their jobs over the last 3, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, who have to depend on the state, who have to depend on job seekers, they're not those type of people who'll be worse off, getting a job because they're not getting as much money as say those other people with the ESA and job seekers and those extra benefits like PIP, that you've got to be on a long period of time to claim those extra benefits, which subsidise the overall, motive for those people not getting a job. So there's people out there who are on job seekers, who are in position of motivation, where they would be better off getting a job. They're in that environment of stability. They don't have mental health issues. They're in a more better like a psychological position. They're more in a better they're in a more stronger position. So those people need jobs. They want jobs, so that should be open to care workers. If there's a shortage in care homes, whether it's cleaners, whether it's those type of jobs in care homes, you wouldn't need to rely on your mass immigration. You wouldn't need to say to people you either do this job or take your benefits away. There's those people there already. So it's such a contradictory statement on both sides. What Mr. Tice is saying about immigration, what the panel is saying about I do this job, you'll take your benefits away. I think I was on about I don't want someone working there who's not really would not check the CRB check, so they might be a bit of a criminal. It makes no sense. The people are there already.
Exactly.
Mass immigration from overseas has suppressed the wages of British workers and is the reason why social...
Mass immigration has suppressed the wages of British nationals because under EU laws, those corporate businesses like farmers and stuff can pay them lower wages. So if they can pay lower wages to EU nationals, EU workers, then it has no bearing on the British workers whatsoever. So that makes no sense.
Care wages are lower. You're absolutely right, Phil. We've got to address those. That's why I say social care...
Yeah, that's fair. Well, British wages are low because we've got to align with those people coming from... but British workers don't get their jobs because they're not going to wait for lower wages. There's a certain economic, type of... it's almost like getting paid, a type of minimum wage for not doing a minimum wage job. So it's not a case of there's no British workers who don't want to take these jobs because the pay is low. It doesn't make sense from a equality type of perspective of hourly pay. You can pay your EU workers, more because you've got a different region of economics and how much you can pay them. And plus, coming from EU countries, it's a completely economic, a different standpoint. Because EU workers coming in lowers the wages to a point that British workers don't want to do those jobs because it's slave labour to the British person, to their economy, to their financial circumstances. So they're not going to work for the pittance when they can claim benefits. So it's a vicious cycle. It's a paradoxical situation.
Should be part of national healthcare, should all be part of one system. People should be treated and valued and appreciated in the same way we do of nurses and doctors in the NHS.
Well,
and let's drive it forward as a vital part of our community.
Yeah, but the cost will go up. Now, at the moment, if people are putting their mum or dad into a care home, it is breaking the bank. You know this.
Yeah.
They sell their house, they still can't afford it, then they end up... It's a prescription to make it all more expensive, Richard, what you're saying.
No, it's not, because if you get rid of the dark processes and procedures and blockages that I'm hearing about, you'll make it more efficient and the cost will go down. This constant idea, I'm sick and tired of this constant idea that you can't improve the way things are done in healthcare in this country. You can. It needs fundamental reform. And every time I talk to a GP or a chemist or someone in social care, all I hear about is the bureaucracy, the blockages, the lunacy of the system, the lunacy of daft things like GDPR. That's what's costing so much money.
That may well be true.
That's Mr. Tice's position, courses. I'm just responding. What I'm responding to you people is the job market is there for those people, and what I've just said in the previous 10 minutes. Now we're entering a different jurisdiction on Mr. Tice's position.
Let me pause. Order, please, because I want to get a caller in. Because Naomi disagrees with Richard. Naomi in London, tell us about that.
I certainly disagree. We often hear about the elderly being abused by their carers, and if people were forced to work as a carer, They could abuse the elderly. There are also those who are on benefits for a variety of different reasons, like mental health, who have disabilities, who definitely shouldn't be in charge of the elderly and wouldn't be able to lift either another person or heavy equipment.
Well, somebody with anxiety has as much muscle strength as anyone else.
We have 9 million people in this country who are currently economically inactive, that's what it's called. Just be generous and say a quarter of those people can't work. You still have 7 million people who are sitting at home claiming benefits every day. Why shouldn't they be trained up? They have no right to sit at home all day. They've done nothing to deserve those benefits. They should be trained up to work, whether it be social care or somewhere else in the city.
7 million people though, Carol. Is that name Carol to you? That's 7 million people. You know, nothing of those 7 million people. What if one of them, just as a mad example, they might be thick as shite. Would you understand? You might say, oh, you got that job tomorrow. Right, they might go to the place and they come in and...
That may well be true. That may well...
That's Mr. Tice's position, cautious. I'm just responding. What I'm responding to you people is the job market is there for those people, and what I've just said in the previous 10 minutes. Now we're entering a different jurisdiction on Mr. Tice's position.
Be true.
Let me pause. Order, please, because I want to get a caller in. Because Naomi disagrees with Richard. Naomi in London, tell us about that.
I certainly disagree. We often hear about the elderly being abused by their carers, and if people were forced to work as a carer, they could abuse the elderly. There are also those who are on benefits for a variety of different reasons, like mental health, who have disabilities, who definitely shouldn't be in charge of the elderly and wouldn't be able to lift either another person or heavy equipment.
Well, somebody with anxiety has as much muscle strength as anyone else.
We have 9 million people in this country who are currently economically inactive, that's what it's called. Just be generous and say a quarter of those people can't work. You still have 7 million people who are sitting at home claiming benefits every day. Why shouldn't they be trained up? They have no right to sit at home all day. They've done nothing to deserve those benefits. They should be trained up to work, whether it be social care or somewhere else in the city.
7 million people though, Carol. Is that name Carol to you? That's 7 million people. You know, nothing of those 7 million people. What if one of them, just as a mad example, they might be thick as shite. Would you understand? You might say, oh, you got that job tomorrow. Right, they might go to the place and they come in and, I don't know, they said, there's a broom. And the person might say, what do you do with that? Well, you brush the floor. What's the floor? That's it. It's that thing down there. All right, okay. And then they push the floor, right? And then I don't know, they give them a cloth. What's a cloth? What do I do with this? You wipe the sides. What's the sides? This is a side. See where it's got a few marks. You wipe that with the water, and that person might say, "What's the water?" And you see that tap there. What's the tap? Well, you turn that tap to get the water. All right, I get it now. So you get the water out of the tap. Fucking hell, you get in there. But that might take you about 3 years to train that fucking person in every single aspect of the job that they're going to apply for. So as much as Cal says 7 million people, you put them fucking through some fucking training. You're dealing with different situations of those 7 million people to like, do you understand what a mop is? Just as a broad example. Now Cal's not a that person. She's a matriarch of the belly to fucking just be through some right. She can put them into anything. Of course she can. She's got the fucking strength and fucking power to do anything, do you understand? But not everyone's so lucky, not everyone's so fortunate. She's quite selfish actually. You've got to look at it from other people's perspective, not your own. Not everyone's like you. You understand?
Pay them decent amounts of money.
But that's not the argument.
It
Phil.
is
We
the
know
argument,
that.
Carol.
No, it isn't.
It
It's
is
a
the
fact.
argument.
Should people on benefits work in social
We have a
care?
low-wage, low-skill society.
not the
right,
argument.
Josh is right. You're all
We
right.
need to dignify these jobs.
It goes without
I agree with Richard on
Richard,
that.
will this go in your manifesto, this policy?
Homeowners paying over £800 per month on your mortgage need to take advantage of the 2025
Well, the joy of us is that we put forward suggestions that sometimes are uncomfortable for debate and discussion like we're having superbly today. And
That's
of course,
superb. I like that
not
word,
everybody
precise.
would be suitable. But I believe that some of the 9 million Carol's just mentioned clearly would. And I think one of the, actually, a great...
She actually says 7 million. Actually, there, Mrs. Tice, you've had it too. You made it complicated. Yes, you said 7, not 9. Just want to point that out.
help for someone with mild mental health issues may be the joy of helping people in care homes with training, with respect, with that dignity. What a wonderful thing.
That's
Everyone's
right,
a winner.
Mr. Tice, that's right, yes.
Okay,
That's right, yes.
Richard Tice, thank you very much, Steve, for joining us from, it looks like the House of Commons there behind you. Parliament, I think, that wallpaper. Thank you. All right, Naomi, what do you think? Has he satisfied you there or not?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, there are also people... Would you want somebody with a long criminal history looking after your parents?
What are you saying? That everyone on the dole has a long criminal history?
Well,
they
that'd
don't.
be the next
He makes some very good points.
They don't.
He makes some excellent points.
I
Well
remember
done.
discussing this before on the radio, and then it was a suggestion that we should punish criminals by making them work in care homes instead of jailing them.
Well, I'm not sure that's...
That's Naomi's opinion. Why are they fucking barking on us? That's such a contradiction, Carol. 7 she just said, right, there's 7 million people on benefits who don't deserve to be benefits. They should get a work. And Naomi said they might have a long criminal record. And then Carol said, how do you know they've got a criminal record? That's a bit fucking contradictory. On one hand, she's saying people should get a benefits, they don't deserve them. Naomi from London is having an opinion calling in. And now Carol's fucking saying, well, that's a bit judgmental to say they've all got criminal records. If there's any person going for a job, there will be a CRB check to fucking see if they're criminals, if they've got a past history when working in care. When you're working with people, that is duty bound by fucking law they'll fucking do. So it's not a case of you go for a job. Oh yeah, you can. There's a fucking broom. There's a broom, and then they start fucking smacking the fuck out of the elderly, and it all fucking goes to shit. There's a massive meeting. What's happened? Well, you know, fucking this person been in business for 5 years. What for? Well, she went to a care mom. She fucking keep fuck out of people with brooms. Oh shit! What do we do about this? We need to fucking start a policy where we check their criminal background. We should have thought about that fucking 20, 30, fucking 40 years ago. You learn fucking something. You learn something every day.
Well, I know, and a guy who ran a care home complained and said our residents do not want any part of their body to be used to punish crime.
No, but the principle is right, is it not? We can't not have people working. We can't have millions of people sitting at home claiming the benefits that everyone...
Carol, you've got to pay them proper wages.
You keep on repeating...
Of course you do, of course he's right. Come on, Stroy, let's have a fucking class of the Chinese here. Now this guy's a quiet guy, but you know what, he's more fucking dangerous than anyone else, because he's the quiet one you have to watch out for. It's them people that walk into Tesco and shoot other people and suppress anger, because he's battling his mind, isn't he? Of course he's battling his mind, freaking frustrated.
No,
Because it's the fact.
It's a given. No one's arguing.
There we go.
You get paid more in the supermarket. There's nothing wrong in
I tell you what,
working.
our residents do not
I was right in my assumption. He's fucking proper getting back. No, because I understand. He's getting frustrated by what he's hearing.
want any part of their body to be used to punish crime.
No, but the principle is right, is it not? We can't not have people working. We can't have millions of people sitting at home claiming the benefits that everyone...
Carol, you've got to pay them proper wages.
You keep
Yes,
on
you do,
repeating
Carol.
that. We
Because
know
it's
that.
the fact.
It's a given. No one's arguing.
All right.
No one's
It's
arguing
you
with
get
that.
paid more in the supermarket.
We
There's
know
nothing
that.
wrong in
I tell you what, let's
know
pause.
it.
We've got more to come here. We've got more calls coming.
understand.
Now, more calls on whether people on benefits should be made to work in care homes. The government...
The thing is, I once thought a very long time ago when this is a BBC story. Well, part of course, I'm the one involved in what people pass judgment because you're on benefits. Almost like a judgment. I've always said, no matter what the social outgoing, no matter the unemployment, if unemployment was zero and there was no money whatsoever going out in their social care benefits, if everybody in the country worked, everybody, do you think taxes would be lower? Do you think taxes are any different because there's no outgoings in social benefits and job seekers and mental health and all the areas of where the money goes, where the taxes go, what people seem to think they're paying for? Absolutely not. The taxes will still be the same. There's no pay, there's no difference. They wouldn't notice that every person in the country is working and that there's no one on benefits and no one is claiming job seekers, no one is claiming housing benefit, council tax benefit. The tax would still be the same. The benefit system is there for everyone, and one day they might just depend on something that they criticise. Now, from their perspective, I understand. But sometimes you've got to show them that perspective. Life's not fucking easy for some people. Some people don't have the best chance in life. Some people have no chance in their life. You're very fortunate. And if you show them that perspective that one day you may need to fall in the benefit system, you may need to claim money. The benefits there as security just in case. Makes no difference to to the taxpayer who they're paying for. It makes no difference one bit. Look at it from other people's perspective. You show them that perspective, you might make people understand in that type of context. Because no one's fucking working for my benefit, no one's paying for my roof, no one's paying for my council tax. It's because of that government structure. In that type of sense. People going to work are not fucking keeping a roof over my head. People going to work aren't fucking putting food on my table in that type of context. I can appreciate to that point, but I'm not going to give thanks. I'm not going to give thanks for people going to work because that was not bearing on my life. Just like I'd have a bearing on their life if I went to work and they needed benefits. It's almost me getting a job, a person who works, and I'll get as a broader perspective of people's opinions.
Government doesn't want staff to be recruited from overseas anymore. I had a message from someone in the care home saying the way that care home staff and care home jobs are discussed now as if they're the lowest of the low.
Exactly.
They get really upset about it.
Exactly. We should dignify the job with decent wages, decent conditions, and the idea that this is a low-skill, non-skilled job. The patience required, the skill level required to work with disorientated elderly people.
You say that, but we import people from different countries who have none of the skills.
No, we have people
none of them.
They care though.
Because these are from caring countries like the Philippines.
Is someone from Slovakia more caring than someone from Somerset? That's my question.
Well, it depends. You look at the people who've been prosecuted in the past 12 months.
Not from Slovakia.
They're not from here.
I know your time's valuable, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. If you're looking to sell your property fast, then I can maybe help you.
Oh, I thought they were from here.
No,
okay.
But the bottom line is that we have
I always look. I just think that foreign carers are more caring. I'm sorry.
They are.
I'm sorry.
Foreign carers are more caring now. That's just fucking very nasty, that. Of course it's very silly. That's absolutely silly.
I'm saying that they should have a decent wage. Of course, there should be a dignified wage. But we're not talking. You can be trained to do those jobs.
This thing that you're now in favour of high wages. Okay.
I think it's very patronising this to people who go to care homes to where they can be trained. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's fine. Then no one can afford to go into a care home. I mean, it's almost $100,000 a year.
So what do we do then? Phil Sharp.
Right. Okay. So if an elder person goes to care home and it's costing the person $100,000 to keep them in there, the fuck are they doing with the money? Do you understand? What is that $100,000 being type of spent on? And if you've got to go and ask a person to get a job in a care home or lose the benefits, and then what wages are they being paid? It's so stupid, isn't it? Oh, no, my fucking losing the plan makes no sense. So if you have to go to care home, you have to pay $100,000 a year, and then where's that $100,000 going to? And saying to a person, if you don't go to this workplace, you lose your benefits. So if they go to that care home, are they still keeping the benefits from the government? The economics don't make any sense with this.
For more money, you're saying it's impossible. So what do we do?
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
Claire in East Sussex, you worked in one, I gather, Claire.
Hello, yes. I've taken time out at the moment, but I was an admin manager for care homes, various, one charity and other various ones. And I honestly think this new crazy idea is just totally de-skilled the job yet again. There's always been a stigma attached to working in a care home, and not everybody can do it. It is a vocation, I'm telling you. And I've worked with foreigners who've come over, lovely, lovely people. Half the time, they cannot believe why we stick so many of our elderly people in care homes. They should be at home with the family. In my country, we look after them. So, but also they are absolutely brilliant. Sometimes they don't understand the residents.
Again, it's one of the type of things. I'm too far ahead with this stuff. I'm sorry for starting now, but they're talking nothing nonsense. It makes no sense whatsoever. I think sometimes I get frustrated by that fact. I see it from all sides, the contradiction, people's opinions on both sides. I understand that's their position. It's completely logical. I mean, that lady's saying, I'm nothing against that person on the phone, But foreigners come and they're more compassionate than British type of care workers. And we don't treat people like in our country. Why do you put people in care homes in this country? Well, maybe in your country, like, things are done differently. Do you understand? Where do people go if they don't go to care homes? There's so many different reasons. Dementia, Alzheimer's. Some people need that type of care. It's madness. It really is. I think that continues to a point of being actually, far more type of mad than the things I've already said to people. So that's why I turned it off. Because they're comparing your foreign workers to be more kind and more compassionate to British care workers. Like, there's a massive difference between, say, it's almost like you're getting 10 foreign workers working in a care home, 10 British, people working in care homes. The 10 foreign people are more compassionate than the 10, British care workers. Almost like they're basing it on like all foreigners are more compassionate and all British people are not. Not taking into account individual personality, individual like kindness, individual type of like you're being frustrated or quite relaxed or chilled out. Not putting it into an individual type of category. Yeah, foreign workers are more compassionate. They're based on a stereotypical type of look. A Filipino worker is more compassionate because of the stereotypical how a Filipino works, and just, I don't know, maybe they're basing it on films, maybe they're basing it a lot on that, compared to, say, a British care worker working in care room, the more British personality. I mean, I don't want to be stereotypical, but it's a fact. I mean, that type of stereotype of perspective on a Filipino care worker and a British care worker working in the care room, they're based on a totally different talking demographic. That's absolutely madness, do you understand? That's almost like saying the French are more loving than the British because of the French etiquette of how the French like the language of love compared to the British. Just as an example on a broader spectrum of foreign people are better than British care workers.